station and is aired for informational purposes.
And good Wednesday morning, everybody. I'm Alan Carpenter. This show is the Catania Chronicles, featuring Sam Catania of Catania Painting. I'd remind you of their phone number, but Sam is not wearing a branded shirt today.
I'm not.
So I can't read it off your pecs like I usually do.
I know, right? I did that on purpose. This many shows in, I'm testing you. You think you'd know it.
Yeah. Well, I don't, though.
Sam Catania Painting, 814-866-2600. This is Catania Chronicles number 16. And today's special guest is going to introduce herself.
Hey, Al.
The mic anywhere you
Oh,
want.
okay.
Take it with you. You can take it with you.
That's true. It is somewhat portable.
Well, my name's Heather Wingenbach, and I represent Rex Air in Erie. Rex Air produces a wonderful air purifier and cleaning system called the Rainbow SRX. It's
The
our new
Rainbow.
solution. Yes.
Now, we were talking off air about this, and you mentioned there's a big percentage of people who have never even heard of the product, so obviously we'll, hopefully help to fix that problem a bit today and find out in depth what it's all about because, and again, sort of referencing back to what we were talking about off air, we don't really think that much about the air we breathe. We're all sanitizing our hands, and a lot of people are still wearing masks, but what we're breathing in, not virally necessarily, but the stuff in the air,
That's true.
we don't even think about, do we?
No, most people don't think about their air quality. And actually, the company was started by an allergy specialist named Dr. T. Russ Hill. Back in 1936, he had this concept in his head. He was going to design this thing.
Sounds like a dinosaur. Keep going.
Well, he was trying to help his patients who had severe breathing problems, allergies, asthma, what we now call COPD. So he started by just doing a ton of research about air quality, and he found that no matter whether his patients lived in the city, in the country, or somewhere in between, the air quality inside their homes was always worse than right outside the front door.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Wow, and it's so counterintuitive because it's always like, inside, you've got the windows closed or you have the air conditioning on a lot of the time, this time of the year, and you think that air is clean.
It's true.
Not necessarily true, though.
No, it's not. So air pollution is really more of an indoor problem than an outdoor problem. And this time of year, allergy sufferers like me, we really pay a price. Having something like this running in my home, I don't have any allergy symptoms in my home. We don't even open the windows and doors.
Heather shows up today, and she says she's in rough shape.
It's true.
So she was struggling. Oh, yeah. And this is exactly why.
Yeah.
But inside her house, she's perfectly fine.
Right.
Because of this system.
Because of this system. Tell me about how you first encountered it, Heather.
So when I was little, my mom had a Rainbow. And that's the thing, 1 in 5 Americans has never heard of this 100% American company.
Yeah.
It's headquartered in Troy, Michigan. All of our manufacturing facilities are actually in Cadillac, Michigan. So it's a 100% American company, and
Very
we're in
cool.
over 80 countries worldwide. So we're a worldwide, distribution. And the product is just amazing. So it just kind of blows my mind that, people don't know about this. And it's manufactured to a higher quality standard than people are used to seeing nowadays.
If you were at the home show...
We're used to seeing a lot of disposable, not terribly well-made things. That's true.
Absolutely. If you were at the home show down at the convention center a few months ago, you may have seen their booth.
Yeah. Well, the EPA actually caught up with Dr. Hill about 100 years later. They did their own air quality study.
Oh, really? The government took a long time to do something? I can't believe that, Heather. I'm astonished. They're on top of everything.
Right. But they recognize that this is an issue. And so they did, they quantified Dr. Hill's results. And actually, the air quality inside of our homes is 2 to 5 times worse on average than the air quality right outside the door.
Wow.
And in a couple cases, 100 times worse. Now, there was this one family that was profiled. They kept getting salmonella over and over and over again, and they were being hospitalized. They were so sick. They had an environmental technician come in and sample all over their home to figure out the source of the salmonella, and guess where they found it?
In the air.
It was in the air, and it's because it was living inside of their vacuum sweeper. When you collect a whole bunch of filthy stuff,
yeah.
put it next to a warm motor, slightly humidify it, and then put it in a dark
space?
closet. Yes.
So Heather come out to my house to do a demo.
Yeah.
And I get ripped on a little bit for how clean I am and how my OCD and just very like a museum, very well put together.
I get it. I respect that.
Yeah, until she walks in your house. She walks in, starts doing this rainbow demo, and I mean, short of pulling rodents out of the carpet.
Yeah.
I said, hey, where'd you get that from? I'm watching her do it, and it's water.
Yeah.
I'm watching her do it because other people have asked me, well, what kind of solvents? No solvents.
Is that right?
No.
And I said, you're not welcome here anymore.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
It ruined your high standard of cleanliness.
Yes. I have a reputation to withhold. And Chris Herman! Sherwin-Williams, Chris Herman. Remember?
There he goes. Yes. Oh, I know. Chris Well, did you see my Facebook post? I'm sorry, Heather. We have to digress.
you guys are fine.
Did you see my
drift?
Chris Herman Jr. His daughter will be getting a bunch of Star Wars books from me because she's a young Padawan and I want to make sure she loves to read.
That's generous. That's awesome.
That's paying it forward. Anyway, Heather, we're back on track.
So Heather walks in. I said, no. I have a reputation with you got to go. You got to go. I am clean. I just vacuumed.
So this was just a demo.
Yeah, that's what I do. I go into the customer's home. I give them a gift.
Do you think they can hear that far from the mic?
Yeah, they can
Okay,
hear.
good.
They can hear.
So, our company doesn't advertise, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't know we exist. Unless you knew someone that had a rainbow or you yourself had one, you might not necessarily know about rainbow. But I've got brain fog today. It's bad.
Yeah, I understand.
You're fine.
You're not alone in that.
Yeah, so
This show is very genuine. You can leave the studio if you like.
Yes,
I heard about that.
Sam gets up and leaves sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so people think of air quality issues as being outdoor issues, but obviously we know we have an issue inside of our homes, and some of the things that are floating around in the air in your home are just really, really bad for you.
Yeah.
Whether or not you're a smoker, I guarantee there's cigarette ash in your home. DDT, they're finding inside of people's homes, which is a pesticide that's been banned for 50 years. Heavy metals, building materials floating around, fiberglass, drywall dust, all this
drywall
bad
dust,
stuff. Yeah,
I bet.
And I threw a shout out to the business owners. saying,
Yes.
This is not only an amazing product for business, but it's a great write-off too. I mean, this product for business is it's an absolute success.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about it. How, I don't know, are there different sizes, I assume, of the units? Or is there one size? Or because I'm just trying to picture it. I've never seen a picture of it.
Well, the RainMate, which is it's a $140 value, and we just give those away. We just give away beautiful gifts because we don't have to spend money on advertising. So that's what we do. We have a tremendous customer goodwill program. But it's a little miniature version of our main product. And it's got a water pan. You fill it up about halfway, and then you put a motor on the top. And when you turn that on, it pulls air through one side, and it creates agitation in the water pan.
Okay.
And what it does, actually, is it mimics a rainstorm inside a pan.
Okay.
So that when air is pulled in, whatever dust particles are in there get trapped in the water pan. The tagline is "Wet dust can't fly."
Yeah.
So with the main product, though, it's much more powerful. It's got a switched reluctance motor now, which is something that no one else has put into a consumer appliance. The switched reluctance motor is a tried and tested design. It's been out for 100 years. It was actually designed by Nikola Tesla.
Oh, there you go.
And his namesake, Tesla Motor Company, decided to try and take that product and make it small enough to put into an automobile, and they put the switched reluctance motor in the Tesla 3. And it was lighter in weight than the previous motor and about 30% more powerful. So they had a winning motor, and they haven't changed the motor design since then. A couple years later, when Rainbow Engineers went back to the drawing board to design a new product, they had about a dozen things on their list that they wanted to improve about this. And they looked at that motor design and said, we think we can make it small enough to put into a consumer appliance, and they did.
Oh, interesting. Is it something that runs all the time?
It
Is it
does.
something you run for? So it just constantly is going in the background.
Yeah, and it's got 4 different speeds. On the high speed, it's almost like an indoor hurricane inside of the pan. It's very loud. You wouldn't want to run it on that speed all the time.
But in high pollen season, if you knew you
Yes.
had like construction dust in your house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it will quickly clean up the air. Now, around 1960, they stopped calling it the Rex Air Purifier and rebranded it as a Rainbow because they figured out, gosh, if we could just attach a hose to this thing and some cleaning attachments, we can use it to clean up the whole home environment. And here's the awesome thing. With the switch reluctance motor, it doesn't have any internal windings, no magnets. There's nothing to ever wear out. So the life expectancy of this product is actually your life expectancy.
Wow.
It's just a brilliant design.
Yeah.
But it
Interesting.
actually, when it's running in purifier mode, it'll pull every ounce of air in a 3,000 square foot house through that water pan 6 times in 24 hours.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that's the deal. The air inside of our homes, we're using all these dry cleaning methods. It never gets water washed like the air outside.
Interesting.
Yes.
And so you brought the kind of the little demo model to Sam's place.
I
right?
did, yeah.
Okay.
And she does the demo in front of you, so there's no hidden secrets.
Right.
Right.
And I'm watching everything. She has you fill the container. I mean, it's legit. It's genuine. Really? You're pulling this? Where's this dust coming from? I just vacuumed.
Right.
Right.
I mean, it's like it was coming out. She's pulling dust out of my basement.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting? What I really love about it is the no solvents feature of it.
Right. Right.
Because, you know, we all want to be clean, but it's like if you ever cleaned the bathroom, you used so many products, you had to step outside, take a few deep breaths because you feel like you're losing lung capacity. You know that's not good for you.
Right.
I want to add something that I completely forgot about until just now.
Okay.
That was new carpet.
Wow. I didn't realize.
I didn't mention that. I mean, not new within a couple months, but a couple
Right.
years. That was new carpet.
That's new.
I don't get a lot of traffic, and I don't let people walk on my carpet with shoes on.
Right.
You know, it's very clean.
Well, you know, we have an Asian house. There are no shoes on our carpets.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
forbidden.
Yes, and that was a new carpet. So it really surprised me when I clean routinely. I just vacuumed. Fairly new carpet, new pad.
Yeah.
And she's, what'd you bring that with you? I thought she brought it with her and, stuffed it somewhere.
Yeah. It's out there though.
Yeah.
So talking about what it can pull out, I think it's really like allergens. It might be a big selling point because
Sure.
everybody suffers to some degree. Some people like you suffer to a large degree,
Right.
and to have those things pulled out perpetually has got to be. I mean, you must sleep better. You must feel better.
I want you to announce your phone number.
Okay.
Oh yes, you should do that.
That's very important.
Yes.
We're gonna announce that a couple times.
Listeners to the radio show today can get a free gift valued at $140 called the Rainmate. All you need to do is call 1-800-796-4474 and give us a little bit of information. We can schedule a time to come out and show you the product, and then you get that gift.
That's 1-800-796-4474.
Or you could also go to hdcleanhome.com because I'm trying to picture the unit, and the more you talk about it, the more intriguing it is because it is kind of revolutionary in how it works, and it's not like, as you sort of alluded to, a modern product that has a lot of, everything is like loaded with electronics and everything is expected to die within several years and then you buy a new one and that's the plot, that's the plan. This seems like a 180 from that.
It is, and it's just so well made. You buy one and you're done. It replaces about a dozen different things that you're probably already using to clean your home.
Yeah.
It's an air purifier, and then when you attach something to the front and you're cleaning a surface, you're pulling everything through a certified air purifier. So nothing's coming back out into the air. It's just a brilliant way to clean your home and, preserve your health.
Yeah. What are some other things we might find in our air that this is going to help to pull out, besides allergens and maybe, like I said, like drywall dust and things like that, and
Right.
regular dust?
Yeah, you mentioned the chemicals already. I think that it is the issue of our time. inflammation is pretty much the focus of medicine now, trying to control all of these inflammatory processes. And I find it just incredible that no one's put two and two together. When you think about the entire, time frame that mankind has been on this earth, we've only been making life better through chemistry for about 60, 70 years,
yes,
right? And all these things that we're cleaning our homes with, when we spray those out and they dry, they leave behind a residue, don't they? And then that can get kicked up into the air for you to have to breathe.
It's funny you say that, because I was thinking about in quarantine times, in COVID times, we started wiping down with alcohol. Well, alcohol is not nearly as bad for us as some of the stuff that we have been spraying on our countertops and our surfaces for years and years.
Yes.
I'd like to add, I want you to tell them a little bit of detail of what happened when I pulled out my vacuum.
Yeah.
I have this awesome vacuum.
No, of course you do.
Oh, yeah. So she put me to shame a little bit.
Well,
don't tell anybody that. Nobody can hear us.
They're a very small group.
There are only three of us listening right now, but she put me to shame.
Yeah.
I thought I had this really nice vacuum. I pull this vacuum out, and the rainbow eats it up.
Yeah.
I said, "What'd you do to wood?" She pulls everything apart. I'm gonna let her explain.
Yeah. They've all got four basic parts. Whether you spent $50 on a Walmart special or you spent $5,000, and I've seen that machine, and it kind of breaks my heart. I saw that machine in February. Middle-income people, obviously, they had really stretched to get this machine. This was the only thing the wife received for Christmas this year. And she
not terribly romantic, but okay.
It's not. I mean, but obviously they had allergies and other issues, and yeah.
I'm just saying, as a husband,
I almost spit out my car. That was good. I wasn't expecting that, honestly.
She cleaned her house with it just before I came because she was so proud of it, and she left it out in the room, and I came to give the demo, and it was the most somber demo I've ever given, because it had been 2 months since they were running this thing in their home, and this thing had 7 filters.
Right. And I'm sure marketed as, this gets everything, this is, the next level of cleanliness and so forth.
Yeah, and people, they come in with all these different features, and they come in hot pink now. I mean, people want to know which one should I spend my money on. There's over 300 different kinds of vacuum sweepers on the market today.
Sure.
And people are scratching their heads like, which one is the best?
Totally.
Because we work hard for our money, don't we?
Totally.
And the average ticket price for a vacuum sweeper is between $600 and $700 now. That's for a mid-range model. And when I was buying them, I had a kid with asthma, and I had 3 of a famous brand that's never supposed to lose suction in 8 years. Each one lasted about 2 to 3 years. And I wasn't even thinking about this. It just wasn't picking up so well, so I went and bought another one, and then I did that again. And I had spent almost $1,500 on vacuum sweepers in 8 years. I
I'm not surprised. I mean, they burn out so fast, or just lose suction or become ineffective.
Right. The planned obsolescence for a vacuum sweeper is now 2 to 3 years. They're literally made to be thrown in the landfill.
Yeah, and they're so expensive.
They are.
At this point. And they're missing, even a brand new one is still missing things that, you're saying the Rainbow is grabbing.
Right. Well, the Rainbow has 4 basic parts. It's got an air intake, which is just where dirt and air ride into the machine, into a motor, which is just a series of fans mounted in line with each other. They're pulling from an area of low pressure to an area of high pressure into a filter. And then they've got an exhaust. And it's the filter that really makes the difference, because with the Rainbow, you just use water. And when you're pulling air through some water, there's very, very little resistance. But as I mentioned before, most of these machines have 3, 4, even 5 filters. And as soon as you add a filter, even a clean filter, you're creating drag on the motor. Now imagine that you get that really dirty. That filter is just all clogged up.
Right.
This is why they only last 2 to 3 years. And then they're putting some cheap, Southeast Asian motor that's just not designed to last.
And people aren't changing the filters even in those machines like they're recommended. Who has time to keep all that maintenance, and keep a record, and have spare filters, and you're ordering from Amazon and waiting for it to come? It's not happening.
Yeah. The phone number is 1-800-796-4474.
And the filter is what makes the difference. And they can only make them out of about 3 different things. They make them out of foam, they make them out of fabric, and they make them out of paper. Mm-hmm. That's about all they can make them out of.
Right.
Now, when dirt comes into the machine, people think of their machines as filling up from the bottom to the top like a garbage can.
Right.
And that's not the way they fill up at all. That air comes in, it's just looking for a way out, and it gets slammed against that filter. And depending on the size of the filtration, anything that's small enough to go out through that filter, it does. It goes back out into the air. Mm-hmm. And anything that is large enough to get lodged in there, it cuts your airflow. So that's why vacuum sweepers, they fill up with all this light, fluffy stuff. It's mostly hair and pet fur if you have pets.
Sure.
It's not picking up that dry, gritty stuff because it's lost its airflow.
Right. Well, now that we've only got about 5 minutes left, I want to talk about moving from the machine itself to sort of the after effects of using it. You know, you talked about how much better it is inside your home for your allergies. What do people notice once they've got the Rainbow in place for a few months?
Just the air smells very fresh and clean. And in my experience, I got my first Rainbow 5 years ago, and I had the previous model, and I got it mainly for my son because I was a stay-at-home mom. I was vacuuming every day.
Yeah.
And my kid had caught RSV when he was only a month old. He ended up in Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh, very near death. And he had permanent lung damage. So this kid, his Achilles heel was any kind of upper respiratory virus. He was constantly sick. And I was vacuuming my house every day. But I wasn't making any difference. In fact, the worst thing is I was probably making him sicker. Because when you think about the way these things work, you collect a bunch of filthy stuff, put it next to a warm motor, then humidify it and put it in a dark place. Every time you turn it on, you're pumping all the air in your home through a bunch of germs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's nasty when you think about it.
Yeah.
Heather, you don't know this either. After the shame I dealt with. No, I'm joking. It wasn't that bad. But once you left, I got rid of mine.
Did you really?
I did. I gave my vacuum away. I didn't even sell it. I just gave it away.
Yeah. Well, I understand that.
Like, wow, this Rainbow's something.
Well,
I really did.
Let's talk about if people are listening and they are intrigued and they'd like a demo, they'd like to find out more. How does that process work?
Yeah, you can give us a call or hit hdcleanhome.com. And
what's the phone number?
It's 1-800-796-4474. And my kid, after 5 years of using a Rainbow in my home to clean surfaces, clean the air, his asthma was downgraded to sports-related only.
Oh, fabulous.
And his doctor never, ever thought this would happen. Some kids do outgrow asthma, but they never thought mine would. We gave one to my mom for Mother's Day this year. I feel so blessed to have been able to do that. My mom has COPD. She smoked for 30 years. My mom is no longer on oxygen.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah, after a month of using the Rainbow.
That's incredible.
It is.
That's great.
Yeah, so anybody with breathing problems, pets, kids, would really appreciate having one of these.
All right. Well, we're just about out of time, Sam, but that was a fascinating half hour, sir.
It was. It really was.
I love to hear about you being humiliated, but that was my favorite part.
Hey, it happens. It's okay.
It happened.
I don't have too much pride. I'm all right.
We're not all perfect.
I was pretty proud of that. This Rainbow is something.
People always say it's unwise to spend too much.
Yes.
But it's also unwise to spend too little.
Agreed.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point to finish on, I think.
The phone number is 1-800-796-4474. Rainbow Cleaning Systems.
All right. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Signing off until next Wednesday.